shit! Welcome to Film Fu, where the cutter clears the kicks. I'm Shifu Payne, and last time we took a look at the 2008 hit Ip Man. A film which, it's fair to say, has had an impact on the martial arts movie genre and defined the career of its lead, Donnie Yen. With 4 films in this franchise, a laundry list of roles and appearances including Rogue One, Mulan 2020, and now going to be appearing in John Wick 4. Now I don't think I'm the first person to say that Ip Man's success had a large part to do with Yen's mainstream status. And while last time we took a look at a side character mostly, and only marginally took a look at our protagonist's introduction, this film definitely deserves a closer look. And I'm not just saying that because we haven't even touched the scene that everyone knows this film for, but also because the themes of this film are so rich that one video of 10 to 15 minute length just won't quite cut it. We looked at the plot last week, so let's jump straight in and take a look at the themes. I've heard it said by those such as Accented Cinema, go check his video out for more details, of Ip Man being compared to the character of Superman. Well, this is not so one-to-one as Donnie Yen being able to shoot lasers out of his eyes. Or can he?
The whole thing is highly suspect.
What it refers to specifically is that both are seemingly invincible paragons of virtue. Oh, they both have their flaws. One has kryptonite and the other has a lack of appreciation for family. But both stand as figures of respect, virtue, wisdom, and justice in their own communities, with the looming threat of the Japanese occupation of Foshan. The question for the film then becomes, what can a paragon do against a threat they can't punch? And what happens when he has to go up against the ideas of oppression, suppression, and superiority? We'll touch on this a bit further on into the video, but first, let's dive straight in and take a look at the scene everybody knows, everybody loves, and take a look at this fight scene. And watch as I expose it. This scene comes to us during the midpoint of the film. Donnie Yen had to train with Ip Chun, Ip Man's eldest son, for 9 months in preparation for this film, and by this point, despite seeing Ip Man in action, we've not seen him truly let loose. Even when he swept up the Northern Master, there was still the impression that he was in control, still holding back in some way. This goes towards one of the themes of this film, that at that time Ip Man was on top of the world, secure in his status, wealth, and influence. He could have fought with all he had, but didn't need to, for the simple reason that he didn't need to fight to survive, unlike our northern friends. By this point, everything has been ripped away from him, except for his knowledge and his family, and so the question becomes if he's got what it takes to fight back to the top. After witnessing the execution of a fellow martial arts master, as well as hearing of a local youth who had also been killed, Ip Man volunteers himself to fight 10 men. Already his sleeves are rolled up, it's again that visual shorthand. He's not fucking around. It's also a credit to Donnie Yen's acting. It's almost like Ip has flipped a mental switch to enter Terminator mode.
Man of focus, commitment, sheer will.
The fight immediately begins with this guy going into a pop 180 that Ip Man catches, proceeding to stomp his face. The next guy tries to throw a hook punch that is blocked and Ip Man slapping him away. The third black belt throws a punch, but by the looks of it, it was too far away anyway, but is still blocked and it looks like he gets punched in the nose. The fourth one, okay, he's just flailing his arms, but is still blocked and getting a slap, plus an elbow. Yeah, it's kind of an unfortunate side effect of this kind of staging, where you just can't really see what's going on. I think they had this part in close-up because the ratio was still too high to seem like an actual fight, and if you had a wider angle, you would just see loads of extras just standing around the perimeter. It means sacrificing the visibility of shots, and makes it more difficult to see what's going on, but I get why they did it. This becomes less of a problem as the herd is thinned, as Ip Man catches this guy's arm and gets him in the face. He then drops the arm, catches the other arm, and starts wailing on him. Okay, I get why they do that, to have the face of the guy getting hit in shot and facing the camera, but then they cut to a close-up to show the blows. If you're going to cut to a new angle anyway, what's the point in staging? Now I'm wondering why Ip Man didn't just hold on to the first arm and hit him. Anyway, he proceeds to sweep the same guy and roll over him to avoid a kick, plus break this guy's arm. Generally, when you go to sweep someone, you hit the back of their shin, collapsing the knee and basically causing the person to collapse under their own weight. It looks here as though the guy was off balance already, so Ip kicked his leg out from under him and let gravity do the rest. But the jury's still out on whether he actually had the force necessary to break the arm here, or even the elbow. Now, I'm no expert, but I smell some bullshit. Moving on, Ip Man catches this guy's leg as he performs a front kick and forces him into a split. If Ip Man does not take this chance to kick this guy in the balls, I say we start a riot. Nope, instead he just puts pressure on the hip and dislocates the leg.
That is bullshit!
I can confidently say that Ip did not put down enough force to do that. A move like that would require a curb stop, not a fly swash. Look at him just wailing on this next guy. Question. Why is no one attacking him? Look at how many people are still standing around, and you're telling me no one is even going to try to hit him outside of his eye line? More ignoring of physics as Ip Man throws this next guy, holding onto his chin and ragdolling him across the room. Well, at least he sticks to physics this time as he fully commits to shattering that guy's collarbone. It's a testament to these stunt guys for having to make this sort of stuff sell as well as it did. Look at this guy here. What is he hitting? This is really a case where the editing, the sound effects, and the music all disguise the problems. There are so many times I could count on no one even hitting anything. Now my problem is not that people are not getting hit. That's just what happens in a fight scene. You obviously don't want people to actually get hurt during these sorts of scenes. My problem with it is that it's so blatantly obvious that people are not getting hit. Which is again a consequence of so many extras in one action scene. Most of them just stand around waiting for their turn, and almost have to look like they're throwing punches but are really just flailing in the periphery. Finally, this last guy is left standing, and I'm genuinely surprised he's not making a break for the exit. Ip Man hits him both in the front and the back, and then grapples him like... what? Is he posing for a selfie? Finishing by punching him in the face until he stops moving. And this is where we get back to our overall message of our Paragon character. Because, as Ip later says, this fight proved nothing. Sure, he avenged the two people that were killed, and perhaps showed that the Chinese people were not as weak as the Japanese think. But did this fight end racism? No. Did it end the occupation? No. Did this showcase of skill and brutality actually accomplish anything? I'm gonna say no. Ip Man needs to get on Rocky's level, ended the Cold War through a boxing match. I love history. Probably the closest comparison will be going back to Superman, or even with Captain America and the writings of the characters during World War II. During those stories, they put in an effort, contributed to the fight, and did their part for the war effort. Did they actually end the war? In our world? No. And in their own? Not alone. One person or one country is not enough to uproot an entire ideology. That's the point. What ended the Second World War was the collaboration of the Allied forces. Multiple countries working together against a common foe. And the same was true in the comics. Teams of heroes from different origins and contexts all working together to end the threat of the Nazi ideology. Overall, on the martial arts level, please do not be fooled by this scene. There was a spike in people wanting to learn Wing Chun following this film's release, down to this scene. But when following this, remember the context. This is not a fight so much as an execution. This is a scene of pure rage and contempt released. None of these guys even put up any form of resistance. They instead let the choreography be performed on them. I know the temptation exists to go ham and absolutely demolish a cohort of people. And if you try to just repeat the moves that you see here without any adaptation, modification, improvement, revision, any of the above, you'll just be the one getting demolished. And that brings us to the final message of this film, that one person cannot solve all their problems single-handed. It takes the effort of the collective, the group, to fight an idea. Ip Man on his own could not halt the threat. He couldn't do so when he was at the height of his status, or when he was oppressed like everyone else. Ip Man needed to learn that no matter what, it's the holding together of the group that solves problems. Family, towns, communities, countries, the group survives. Wait a minute. A film with the overall message of the collective persisting against an invading force from a neighbouring country only a few years before a massive political shift that still persists into today? No, they couldn't have had... No, they couldn't have added that sort of undertone. Ip Man himself was against the movement. They wouldn't do that. They wouldn't add that into a biography about the guy. Would they? Thank you all for watching this week's video, and in the comments let me know if you've seen Ip Man and what you thought of it yourself. I wasn't actually expecting that I would go as hard on this film's fight scene as I did. I think I just got swept up in the hype of this scene, because obviously I've seen it around too, so like on YouTube and such, and I was just expecting that this would be like top tier, like, you know, the height of action and martial arts fight scenes. But no, when you actually stop and look at it, it's like anything else. It's all flashy and all the presentation, but then there's just the underneath it all, there's so many problems. Like, all it took me to see all these problems was just slowing down the ratio, the aspect rate. No, it was just slowing down the rate of it, the frame rate, just by half to see all these problems. But with that, thank you all for watching, and until next time, everyone, peace be with you.